Our next presenter here is Monica Wilson from California, who works with the Global Alliance for Incinerator Alternatives.
Okay. GAIA is a global network. We have members in 90 countries, and our members are coming together to stop what we call the dig, burn, dump economy. And that is no small thing. So to do that, we have to come together at UN climate conferences and community to community, city to city, supporting each other as we build zero waste economies, new economies that are based in community justice and worker justice. These are just some examples of the communities that are part of our network and that we work with to share out what they're doing on the very inspiring side. Now comes the other side of the equation. One of the biggest actions that many communities take on the road to zero waste is stopping garbage incinerators, stopping garbage burners. So these are some protests from the last year, just from the last, this year, last 9 months, of community-led protests that people are doing on their own, sometimes at great personal risk, as you can see from some of those headlines. And why do communities come together so hard, or work so hard, not only to get out on the streets, but to oppose permits, to stop contracts, to stop subsidies? Because if you look at incinerators, or waste to energy as the industry likes to call it euphemistically, what you really find is a microcosm of what is so wrong in our economy. Let's see if I can get a... Anyway, this is the Detroit incinerator stack, and this is what we call the truth stack in front of it at a fantastic event that happened about 5 years ago. So if you look in that truth stack, you see what's really going on with these incinerators. Pollution, sick. What comes out of incinerators is dirty, is toxic, dioxin, lead, mercury. Anybody who tells you that those are clean is not really telling the truth. So that's the bottom line. What comes out of these incinerators is climate change, because that stack over there, that stack is releasing more CO2 per unit of energy than a coal plant. That's the bottom line. So incinerators equal climate change. What comes out of that stack is racism. If you look further down on the stack right here. Because incinerators for toxic waste, for municipal waste, have been built historically in communities of color. And that's happened in too many communities, and it's still happening today as new incinerators are being proposed. What comes out of the stack is expense. Oh my gosh, billions of dollars when you add it up, when you go to the end of a contract or the end of the facility. That stack is an ash landfill. It doesn't look like a landfill, and so many times people will come to you and say, oh, you don't want a landfill, just burn it, it's so safe. That is a landfill. You end up with toxic ash at the end. There's no way to avoid the landfill. If that is your disposal mentality, you get a landfill. Depending on how toxic it is, you get a landfill with an incinerator too. And that incinerator wastes jobs, because we can make 10 to 20 times more jobs in communities with recycling, with zero waste programs, than we can with burning garbage. So that's kind of enough of the bad news, right? Let's move on to something a little more uplifting, which is the opportunity. So on our way to a zero waste economy, we are building more jobs, less pollution. That's something that I think is really helpful to keep in our heads as we're talking about zero waste. More jobs, less pollution. I think we can all remember that, right? That sounds great, and it is great. Because as we're going on our way to zero waste, we are creating 1.5 million new jobs. We are creating healthy communities instead of communities that are polluted by garbage burners and by all the extraction it takes to make new products. We are creating much less climate impact. Getting to 75% recycling, composting, and reusing is like closing 72 coal-fired power plants. So that's huge. Those are huge opportunities that we're working for. And that's why zero waste is so inspiring. Okay, it's about stopping incinerators, and it's about building exciting new and important things in our communities that we need. So the challenge, right? The challenge is that the time is now. The time is now to be standing with communities on the front lines of incinerator pollution and standing up together to say no more. We are done with this. We are moving on to the new economy. That is what the challenge is. And that's what the opportunity is. So the time is now to stop the burning of the garbage from Hennepin County and from Ramsey County, and to be really, really embracing zero waste at every level. The challenge is building justice and building justice together with each other to build power. Because the companies that get money off the burning and the burying of the garbage, they want that garbage to keep coming. They don't want us to be coming up with fantastic new ways to solve this problem, right? And they're going to be pulling every string they can in city halls and in state capitals to make sure that they keep getting those subsidies, that they keep getting all the incentives that they built up over the years, and that zero waste is at a disadvantage. So it takes power coming together. That is why today is so important. The coming together and building a stronger movement together that incorporates social justice, that incorporates environmental justice, that works with communities and workers to build the new economy that we all want together. Thank you very much.